Godzilla. Alright, so Godzilla is exactly 60 years old this year. And before I get into anything, I'm basically gonna give you my likes and my strongly dislikes about this movie. Um First of all, Godzilla looked like he let himself go after 60 years. It looked like he's been stuffing his face with cakes, ice cream, donuts, pastries, danishes, you name it. He is fat. Should have called him Fat as Fuckzilla. That's what I called him. But even in the trailer, I was like, this is what Godzilla's gonna look like. He looks like a giant chicken, or no, not a giant chicken. You know that Jimmy Neutron episode where Carl has that pet turtle? That's exactly what Godzilla looked like in this movie, from my point of view. I thought he looked like that giant turtle from Jimmy Neutron. But anyway, my problem with this movie is that they shouldn't have called it Godzilla, because Godzilla is barely in the movie. They should have called it Godzilla's Day Off. Instead, they focused on the other creatures in the movie. The other creatures were the majority of the movie. Godzilla, you only see him pop up about 4 or 5 times, and when he pops up, he is friggin' awesome. He's not really doing what Godzilla normally does. Well, sure, he is crushing cities and stuff like that, but it's not as much as you want to see. You don't see him like you see him destroying cities, but you see him fighting the other monsters and using the monsters to destroy the city. I wanted some whiplashing action with his tail cutting through cities, well, buildings. You get some of that, but not enough to hold my attention. Uh, the movie was great. Don't get me wrong. I like the movie, but there's just some things I need to say. Um, I agree with this one critic from Rotten Tomatoes where they said, um, they even said in the Rotten Tomatoes that Godzilla is barely in the first or second act. I mean, the first time you show him, he roars, and last time you see him, he roars. He was great in the movie, but I just wish they showed him a lot more than they actually did. Um, Now my likes about this movie is that there was tons of destruction, buildings toppling, sort of. Um, what's it called? Nuclear waste sites getting destroyed. Um, but not by Godzilla, by the way. Um, but what's the creatures called? Were they Marthas, Mutos? I think they were Mutos, something like that. But so far the summer season hasn't really been going well. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a disappointment. This shouldn't really say it's a disappointment because I liked it a lot. I just have strong dislikes about it. But anyway. Oh yeah, another thing. Bryan Cranston was billed as an and it's and Bryan Cranston. So you don't. He was basically like The Rock and Samuel Jackson and what's it called? The other guys. They were barely in it. He was barely in this. Um, I thought it was strange. I knew he wasn't going to be in as much as he was. Most of his lines were in the trailer. I'm not going to say what happens to him, but nothing really happens to him. But anyway, um, anyway, basically in Japan, something happens back in 1999, like this nuclear waste center basically has to shut down because of this gas that's coming through. It has something to do with like the creatures, and so Bryan Cranston was ordered to shut the doors, even though his wife is still in there. Um, But yeah, that's the part where you see him go like this. But anyway, and then it cuts to a merely 15 years later, where Bryan Cranston is now, well, 15 years older, and his son is now with Elizabeth Olsen, who is um his wife, uh, Aaron Taylor Johnson's wife in the movie, who will be playing brother and sister in The Avengers 2. So, yep. Anyway, well, Aaron Taylor Johnson's married to the Olsen sister, or one of the well, yeah, the Olsen sister. Um, and they have a kid, and basically Elizabeth Olsen is basically a nurse at this hospital, and what's his face? Aaron Taylor Johnson had something to do with the military or something like that. Oh, that's another thing. The military in this movie sucked. That the military in this movie is what the military is in real life, and if we actually had Godzilla coming to America and destroying our cities, we are fucked. Godzilla, not Godzilla, the military, they missed everything. Like they were searching, like they were doing like helicopter searches in the air, and there's like this big thing that got destroyed that was sticking out of the ground, and the military missed it. Just a Family Guy 1 fan whispered over to me, "How did the military miss something like that?" I was like, "I don't know." So yeah, the military wasn't that great in this movie. Sure, they were a lot better towards the end, but they weren't even trying. It looked like, when you miss a ship that got capsized, sticking out of the ground like this high, right, like this high, and you miss it and you don't really find it until, well, one of the people on the ground find it, then you must not be looking hard enough. But anyway, so the fighting scenes were great. Uh, when you see Godzilla, he's all roaring and stuff. Actually, he actually had the most memorable lines in the whole movie. All he had to say was roar. Yeah. But and when he breathes fire, that's also really cool. Um, anyway, so as a disaster movie, I had to give this a 5. But this was a Godzilla movie, so I'm giving this 3.5 out of 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really wanted to like this movie. I walked in with high expectations, thinking that it was going to be a good summer blockbuster, but it was a lackluster of Godzilla. They should have called it Godzilla's Day Off, because he basically gave destruction to the other creatures in this film, and a boy and a girl creature, and what's it called? I don't think you're not gonna know, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Japan was trying to hide the fact that they had those big flying things, Mutos, whatever it's called. They didn't want to tell anyone that they had that hiding in their country, in this like facility. Then Bryan Cranston freaks out and says, "You're hiding something for us." What this movie was hiding was the fact that they didn't have Godzilla in it that much. It's too late to use that joke, because I was gonna say it, but it's too late that I used it now. I should have used it early on in the review. But yeah, Bryan Cranston screams, "You're hiding something from us," and then the thing comes alive and wreaks havoc, and then next shot with the city. But So anyway, the movie ends abruptly. People go on with their day, including Godzilla, and that is basically it. Did I say something? Oh yeah, and the military is trying to figure out what the hell was going on also. And this is me during the movie. Are you gonna show Godzilla? Are you gonna show Godzilla? Oh wait, that's the other creature. Nope. But I will say this, it's a hell of a lot better than the Roland Emmerich version. So I'll give it that. If you guys want to see Godzilla, see it. It's great it's great as a disaster film. As a Godzilla film, doesn't hold up that much. Um, but I gave it a pretty fair rating. I gave it a B.